Can you play this mantra in this session next time so that we can at least hear it and get the benefit of hearing it? I know we cannot recite it, but if it is possible.
Okay, let me look into that possibility. So let me just share with you all as to why are we doing all this. We want to see each and every individual on this planet happy with the true knowledge of yoga. And we want to do it in 15 years' time. So we have to reach out to 200 crore families in 15 years. We are using the method of, I would say, digital marketing. And we would like to offer Patanjali's Yoga Sutras through online interactive courses, video podcasts, other digital products, social media interactions. And we also have a philosophy of giving free products, free services. So any one of you, if you are connected to any school, any college, any educational institution, any club, any society, any association, any corporate, any NGO, if they are interested, become more aware about this ancient yogic knowledge of ours, then we can conduct free online Zoom sessions for them. If they want to do courses also, we can do free courses for them, because the basic purpose is to educate as many as we can. But at the same time, we have certain paid courses also, and we are looking forward to a very aggressive growth because our figures are 200 crores, which we have to achieve in 15 years' time. A lot of collaborations are on the way. We are tying up with some leading yogic institutions in the country so that we can offer the best to the world through the best possible delivery digital mediums. Now, moving further ahead, let's come back to the topic of the day. Today we are covering one of the most important sutras from Patanjali. It is the 15th sutra of the Sadhana Pada. This sutra is the crux of yoga. This is the cause of yoga. This is why we have yoga in the first place. And this actually comes from Sankhya. The first karika of Sankhya, as per Ishvara Krishna, talks about sorrow and the causes of sorrow. And the second karika of Sankhya talks about the solution to this, a permanent solution which is applicable to each and every person on this planet, with 100% guaranteed results. So, Sankhya starts with an inquiry into sorrow, looks at various solutions and comes with the perfect solution. And then they pursue that solution through the path of knowledge, by thinking about it, by reflecting over it, by applying it in their own lives, and then they achieve those results. Yoga came after Sankhya as a philosophy. And yoga is a practice, a physical practice, a karmic practice, which is based on the theory of Sankhya. And people who are purely into Sankhya don't do any yoga, but people who are into yoga follow the principles of Sankhya. So this sutra, in a way, defines the first karika of Sankhya. So let us look at it. We will go into quite a depth into it, because when you understand this, answers will start pouring into you. You will automatically get answers. You will get connected to that knowledge which will give you answers from within. So we will try to facilitate that for you. If you have questions, do ask, but not immediately now. Let me go through the presentation and then we take questions, because I think this is a very crucial part of the entire 196 sutras. And there are 1-2 more sutras after this which sort of complete this sutra. So we will touch those sutras also, but in a very elementary way, so that you have the complete picture about it. So this sutra says parinama, tapa, sanskara, dukha, guna vritti, virodhacha, dukham eva sarvam vivekina. What it essentially means is, let us go word by word. Parinama. Parinama is change, alteration, transformation. And the consequence of that transformation also, the result of that transformation also. So what it is saying is, there is change, alteration, transformation all around us. And this change, alteration, transformation all around us has a consequence and a result on us. So that is parinama for you. Tapa. Tapa means taking on the pressure, taking on the pain. So the words used here are heat, torment, pain, sorrow, afflictions, distress. We will see tapa from a different perspective. We will take an analogy so that whole sutra becomes crystal clear to each one of you. Sanskara. Samskaras are psychic impressions. They are refinements which happen. They are the conceptions which happen. They are the faculty of recollection, instinct. So samskaras are essentially, you can say, memories in the subconscious mind which have come due to certain reasons. They are impressions. They are refinements. They have been conceived. Because they are memories, there is a faculty for recollecting them. And it is there at an instinctual level. So it is there at the subconscious level within us. It is like an involuntary thing at times. Dukha, as we all know, is unhappiness, pain, sorrow, grief, misery. Guna. Guna, as the name implies, means qualities, characteristics. Guna also means virtues. Guna also means properties. So we look at the gunas. Vritti. Vritti means a fluctuation, a state of change in the mind. Virodhat. Virodhat means what we are opposing. This is because of, on account of opposition, obstruction, virod karna, restraint karna, contrast karna, that is virodhat. Cha means and. Dukham again is pain and sorrow. Eva means indeed. Sarvam, as we all know, is all-encompassing, touching everybody. All whole is sarva, sarvam. And vivekina, vivek we know is discrimination, buddhi. So it is referring to the man of discrimination, to the man who is enlightened. So now a man who is enlightened is able to see all this, experience all this. And what is he experiencing? He's experiencing pain, sorrow, dukkha, because of various parameters, various factors. So this is broadly at this stage your peep into this sutra, but I will take you deeper now. Let us assume that you have a car. The car has a body, and the car is on the road. Now there are changes happening constantly on the road. So that change, that alteration, that transformation which is happening on the road is parinama. That road can also be understood as the world. Out there is constant, consistent change. And that car out there on the road is facing the heat of being out there. Its engine is on, there is sunlight falling over it, there might be rain, there might be a windstorm, or somebody might scratch the car, or somebody might do an accident with the car. So the car is going through heat, torment, pain, sorrow, afflictions, and distress. Similarly, your body. Your body is consistently on a daily, moment-to-moment basis facing tapa, facing heat, facing pain, facing sorrow. Sanskara. Sanskara, as I said, is connected to the subconscious mind, the impressions which are there in the subconscious mind. So now, who is sitting inside the car? There is a driver. Now, that driver definitely will drive the car with his mind. So he has two minds. He has a subconscious mind and he has a conscious mind. His subconscious mind is taking these sanskaras, these impressions. And what he is driving also is coming out of his sanskaras, his impressions. And his conscious mind is alert to the input from the sense organs. So whatever is happening there in terms of experience of that driver are vrittis, which are happening at a subtler level. And when they are becoming memory, they are becoming sanskaras. So we have the parinama of change outside. We have the body facing the heat. We have the subconscious mind recording whatever is happening. And we have the conscious mind going through experiences. Who else is there apart from the car and the driver? Yeah, any answers? Who else is there?
Passengers,
Okay,
other than the driver.
okay.
Atma is also there.
Yeah, who said that? Neha, huh?
Neha, yes.
Okay, Neha, fine. So you see, there is consciousness also there. So in this limited world of the road, the car, the driver, there is consciousness which is eternal, which is permanent, and which is changeless. Just remember this, consciousness is changeless. There is another entity there. Yeah, anybody? Apart from the body, mind, matter complex, apart from the consciousness, there is another entity there. No? Okay. It is Prakriti in its unmanifested form. That is also there. And Prakriti also is eternal, permanent, and infinite. So you have two entities which are permanent, eternal, and infinite, and you have all other entities which are limited in space and time. This is the background in which we will go further into the sutra, and I will open it up further for you. Okay.
Are you showing a presentation?
Sorry?
Are you showing a presentation also? Because I can't see anything except you.
Oh, fine. So there is a goof up. Yeah. Yeah, so this is what happens in life. Okay. I think I'm doing something because I'm able to see the presentation. And
No, but
you are
I'm
not
also able to see, Sanjay. Your presentation is coming. It's coming beautifully, no problem.
Okay, fine.
But
Then there
the
is some
problem is,
Yeah.
Anilji, the issue is, if you're seeing this on a mobile, you have to keep scrolling to see this. But on a laptop, it comes beautifully. But if you're on a mobile, you have to turn the screen to see this. It's not automatic.
Okay, so let's proceed. Now, what the sutra is saying, okay, let us come to the literal translation. This meaning has been given by Guru bksiyengar. He was a very well-known guru on yoga, and he popularized yoga in a big way, but it was mostly on the physical side, the asana side. But his understanding is very good, one of the best. It actually flows like poetry if you read it. So here he says the wise man. Who is the wise man? The one who has viveka, one who is intelligent. He is the wise man. And what does that wise man see? Now that driver in the car, out of his intelligence, he can see the fluctuations happening, the changes happening on the road, the changes happening in the car, the changes happening within him, and the recordings which he's making of all the changes which is happening around him and within him. Some of these changes are pleasant experiences, some of them are not so pleasant experiences. He's at a signal, it becomes green from red, he feels nice. He's at a signal, it suddenly turns from green to red, he's not feeling so nice, right? So he's going through changes, he's going through fluctuations, and he is moving through cycles of pleasantness and sorrow. Now what? This is what the whole... So this is what the whole life is about, okay? It goes through cycles. Now let us look at it from the perspective of a human body, human mind, and let's leave the car example completely. So the parinama is something which is change. Change is inherent in nature. Sankhya says there are three causes of sorrow. One, which is coming from within you, inside you. Second, which is coming from outside you. And outside you, there are two categories. One, which is coming from the world outside, and other, which is coming from supernatural forces. So when you bring these three under control, the cause of these three sorrows, or the causes of these individual three sorrows, if you are able to bring them under control, if you work on those causes, the net effect, the net result, the parinama which you will get would be freedom from sorrow. So now let's look again. Let's relook. The first sorrow is because of the body, the tapa. The more your body goes through tapa, the more it becomes disciplined. The more your body goes through vigorous exercises, vigorous fasting, vigorous activity, it becomes more and more disciplined, more and more controlled. It even brings your sense organs under control. It even brings your mind under control. So now these 11, or rather let's extend it further, these 16, 5 Panchamahabhutas, gross elements of the world outside, 5 organs of action in the world outside, 5 sense organs which are picking up data from the world outside, and the mind which is interacting with these 15. These 16 together have to go through tapa. Without going through tapa, you cannot come out of sorrow. This is what Patanjali prescribes in Kriya Yoga. He says your sadhana begins with tapa. That is why yogis go into tapa. They do tapasya, they do penances, they do austerities. Second, he says, for cleaning up the inside, there are 3 things there again. You have the intellect, you have the ego, and you have the mind. Antahakara, subtle presence of the mind. Here, you have to know about the Atma. You have to study the Atma. You have to spend time with experts who can teach you about the Atma, the consciousness, the permanent entity, the eternal entity, the changeless entity. Why? Because all pain is because of change. So if you move into the changeless zone, there will be no pain. So freedom from all sorrow can only come when you move away from all change. And you can move away from all change when you shift from Prakriti, from the mind-body complex, into the soul state, into the Atma state, into the Purusha state, into the consciousness state. But when you move into that state, what happens? You leave Prakriti behind. And what does Prakriti do? Prakriti allows it to go away. So right now we are a combo. We are a combo of consciousness, mind, body in matter. And this combo is the cause of all the pain, because the infinite and the finite are put together in a cocktail and there is a mismatch. The permanent and the temporary are put together in a cocktail and there is a mismatch, which leads to pain, pleasure, sorrow, fluctuations. So what to do? Separate them. Separate the permanent from the temporary. Separate the finite from the infinite. Separate the true from the false. All pain will disappear. But something very interesting, how do you find out where you are? And you can make out by the comments of a person. I remember Nanak saying, it is there in the scriptures, Nanak dukhiya sab sansar. Nanak says this whole world is dukhi. Look at Buddha. He could only see sorrow everywhere. He left a palace, a wife, a child, a kingdom to figure out what to do because he was seeing sorrow. So a person who is intelligent, who is operating from the door of intelligence, who is sitting inside the room of intelligence and looking at the world, he sees sorrow everywhere. Nanak was intelligent, he could see. Buddha was intelligent, he could see. Here is where the door opens. It is only when you see sorrow everywhere that the door to liberty opens. Unless and until you are not realizing that pain and sorrow are happening, you are not realizing that everything is finally sorrow, the door does not open. It is only when you are against the wall. It's only when you're highly frustrated with your existence. When whatever you do, only thing you find is sorrow. Then only the door opens. Till then, you don't even know that the door exists. You're not searching for it. But when you become so frustrated, you leave the world in search of answers. You leave everything. Nothing matters to you because it disturbs you so much at the intellectual level. That is what happened to Buddha. That is what happened to Nanak. Buddha came up with his own philosophy. Nanak came up with his own philosophy. And they started religions which crores of people are following worldwide. So what happens next? Those of you who have done Sankhya Yoga, who know the 25 principles of Sankhya, the tattvas of Sankhya, know that first out of Prakriti, which is in an unmanifest state, comes Mahat. Mahat is also called Buddhi, but both are different. Mahat is cosmic intelligence, Buddhi is individual intelligence. And then from there you reach Ahankara, doership. From there everything comes, the mind, the sense organs, the organs of action, the tanmatras and the Panch Mahabhutas. So when you are at the individual level, looking at this world and seeing sorrow everywhere, then you are forced to move up. You move from individual intelligence to cosmic intelligence. You evolve. Actually, you devolve because you're going back to the source. But to the world, you become a Buddha. To the world, you become a Guru Nanak from Nanak. So why the transition? Because they're shifting from individual intelligence to cosmic intelligence. They're getting connected. And then what? It does not stop at Mahat. Even now, you will find sorrow. But now the answers have started coming. Now the door is getting visible. And then you further evolve or de-evolve the way you're looking at it, from where you're looking at it. You enter Prakriti. And when you enter Prakriti, there also you have sorrow. Why? Because Prakriti has those three gunas. That Sutra spoke about those three gunas. So those three gunas keep on dancing, they keep on changing. There is change everywhere. So then, when you have reached the state of Prakriti, with further practice, you have to balance the gunas. You have to make them come into equilibrium. And once equilibrium sets in, Prakriti, all changes stop. There is balance. This balance, this state of balance is experienced by a yogi through meditation and vairagya in the form of samadhi. Sama and adi, these two are the words used for samadhi. Sama is balance. Adi is from beginning, very beginning. So the original state of Prakriti was equilibrium, balance, where these three gunas were in balance. And from there we have come, and we have lost our balance. So the whole journey is back to balance. So it is like taking your car for realignment of the wheel, so that the wheel comes into balance. So yoga are those balancing centers, a balancing technology, where you rebalance yourself. You come into alignment with life. You come into alignment with the eternal thing, the things which have been there right from the beginning, which will always be there. And remove yourself from alignment of what is temporary, what is false. So the moment this balance comes, you reach the state of the Purusha. It is called Atma Darshan, Atma Sakshatkar, self-realization, soul realization, God realization. It happens in Samadhi. It happens in deep meditation, but it happens for shorter durations. To some, it might happen for a flash. To some, it might happen for 10 minutes. To some, it might happen for 1 hour. To some, it might happen for 1 hour every day for 3 months. To some, it might happen for 8 hours a day. To some, it may happen forever. When it happens forever, that means you are leading a normal life. But the back of it, the core, the substratum is at absolute peace, absolute balance. And then life is like a flash. It comes and goes, comes and goes, comes and goes. So let's look at it again now. Let's look at the whole thing again. Parinama is change. change is constant, and the result. So we would like to have a result which is free from sorrow. So we understand what are the sources of sorrow. First source of sorrow is the body. Second source of sorrow are the sense organs. Third source of sorrow is the mind. Fourth source of sorrow is the ego. Fifth source of sorrow is the intellect. Sixth source of sorrow is Prakriti itself. So he has spoken about all of them. He talks about tapa. He talks about sanskaras, subconscious mind. He talks about vrittis, conscious mind. He talks about gunas, nature, prakriti. So all this which is dancing around, constantly, consistently changing without anybody's control, it is actually a chaotic play. Some things are happening which you can control. Some things are happening beyond your control. So when you reach the prakriti domain, and when you put the gunas to rest, then you control the natural forces, the supernatural forces. Now no source of sorrow is left. It is neither from the world outside, nor it is from the world inside, nor it is from the eternal entity like Prakriti. It all stops. So Prakriti comes at balance. You enter Purusha, which is changeless. All change stops. So you reach a state of Kevalya. You reach a state of the highest. You are free. You are liberated. You are into moksha. You are into nirvana. So that is what this sutra is all talking about. Yeah. And the next sutra, the following two sutras, they say that it is the linking up of the Purusha with the Prakriti which is causing all sorrow. So detach them. And when you detach them, you permanently remove all sorrow. So Sankhya says, in order to permanently detach Purusha from Prakriti, study the 25 tattvas, gain knowledge about them, their workings, you will find Purusha and Prakriti disjointing, leaving each other. And both Sankhya and Yoga say that Prakriti is actually here to serve the Purusha. Prakriti evolves, comes out to give the Purusha what he wants. So the Prakriti will fulfill all your desires, including liberation. But you must know what to ask from Prakriti. You must know the science of manifestation based on Yoga and Sankhya. Then anything and everything under the sun, beyond the sun, without the sun is possible. But this knowledge can come to you only when you start purifying, when you remove the cloud of ignorance, when you are willing to open up and listen and understand. Then only this knowledge comes in, seeps in. It comes in the form of seeds. It will get implanted, and beautiful trees and fruits will come, which will further take you on the path ahead. So that is what it is all about. Only thing here is, Yoga says through concentration and Vairagya, we reach Samadhi, we detach from Prakriti. Sankhya says with knowledge we detach. You can choose any method which suits you. But what is important is that you detach. If you detach, that will be the biggest service you will do to humanity. Because if your consciousness is at that level, humanity will go through a major shift in consciousness. It has been more than 2000 years since a Buddha or a Christ or a Mahavir came. It's a long, long time. The last major spiritual personality on this planet was Nanak about 550 years back. It's been a long, long time. And this society, this world, this civilization is moving at rocket speed. So probably we need new avatars every week, every month, every year to show the path ahead to humanity, or we will crash land. So take this up. It is for your own good, for the good of your family, for the good of your society, for the good of your country, for the good of people of the world at large. And it's a beautiful journey. Let me tell you that. More you go into this, you will find wonderful things happening around you. Unbelievable things will happen around you. The scale of whatever you're thinking, doing, will be automatically happening around you. It has to be experienced. And those who are interested to know more, they can always get in touch with me. We can do specialized courses for them about it and help them realize their biggest dreams they can think of. Yeah. So with this, I finish my, I would say, commentary on this sutra. I was not very organized in my presentation, I think. So I would like you to ask questions, get 110% clear about this, because a proper understanding of this sutra will help you understand yoga. People say yoga is yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Yes, but that is for a beginner, first step. Here he's talking about everything. No, you have everything here in this sutra. So let's discuss this. If you have questions, please unmute yourself and kindly ask. And then if time permits, we go in for a meditation.
Sir, my apologies, but आप जो बोलते हैं, half the thing goes above my head.
Okay.
Possibly because I don't have that level of intelligence or understanding. I don't know whether that is the same with others or not.
Okay.
But if it's so, then perhaps you can explain the same thing in a simpler language. Okay. Because obviously the level of attainment of us and you is hugely different.
Okay.
Your knowledge is very, very vast. That is one. Second, on the WhatsApp group, I saw a post that one has to do yoga perfectly before one starts doing pranayam. Now, I had been doing some yoga and some asana, but perfect to nahi kar pa raha hu. So, does it mean therefore I should stop pranayam until such time I start doing perfect yogasana?
Okay. Yes. You see, this is a journey where you are traveling from class 1 to class 8. If you consider the 8 angas to be each class. Now, without doing well in class 3, you cannot go to class 4. Class 3 is asana. Class 4 is pranayam. If without doing well in class 3, you go to class 4, you will have some difficulties in class 4. And then you will have major difficulties in class 5. And then you might have to leave class 6. So then the goal, the purpose is lost. So you must define what is the purpose. Why are you doing the asana? Is it to have a flexible body or is it for a spiritual purpose? Then the answer will come to you what you need to do.
See, I have a question. See, you said first you do asana, then pranayam. I have learned asanas. I have done asanas in the past, but I'm not doing now. Earlier, I was doing only asanas for many, many years. I stopped doing that. I am only doing pranayama now. And I am finding tremendous benefit in doing pranayama. Now, I don't know, maybe I'm not following the Ashtanga yoga principles in that doing asana. Of course, I've done asanas in the past. But I'm finding that doing pranayama is making a tremendous difference to me. So I don't know what you have to say in that, but I would rather follow my intuition in this. That's what I would say. Which is that I will continue to do pranayama.
Oh, yes, I am in agreement with what you're saying. But you see, there is a difference which probably you have not noticed. When you were doing asanas, okay, which you stopped, are you doing pranayam in the same asana? No. Now you're doing pranayama in a different asana. Right? So what is an asana? An asana is a posture which is comfortable, which you can hold steadily. That's all. But if you are going to a particular asana and you are not able to do it comfortably, you're not able to hold it for a longer period, and then if you start pranayama, then that is complicated.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, correct. So asana is not yogasana. I mean, it's not those yogic, it's not those postures. It is a comfortable position. That's what you mean by asana, right?
Yeah, that is how Patanjali has defined an asana. But there is a big industry on asanas today which works on 84 asanas, and many people have come up with their own asanas also. So you must look at what Patanjali is talking. Patanjali says is he has 3 sutras on asana. He has used only 8 words for asana in entire Patanjali Yoga Sutras, right? 196 sutras, total 8 words have been spoken on asana. The first one says that the asana must be sthir and sukham. So steady and comfortable. Okay. Now, if it is comfortable, it will automatically become steady. Right? So that is step 1. Step 2 says, when you are in a comfortable and a steady asana, think of infinity. That is the second sutra. Okay. And the third sutra, he says, when you are doing this, right, you will find your body is able to handle duality well. Why duality well? Because when you are actually practicing an asana, it is a tapa. Okay, so it is putting the body under pressure. And once that pressure is no longer a pressure for you, that means you have extended the ability of the sense organs and the body to withstand tapa. So now your ability to handle opposites has increased. The ability to handle dvanda has increased. Dvait has increased. That is the third sutra. And then he says, once asana has been taken care of, then start pranayama. Okay? So it is very simple. He has not mentioned any asana. Not even a single asana has been mentioned by Patanjali. It is we who have got it all complicated.
Okay.
You see, that is why we are focusing on that original literature based on which yoga philosophy has been formed. You know, each philosophy has a guiding literature. So in the case of Sankhya, it is Kapila Sutras. In the sense of yoga, it is Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. So it is not Hatha Pradapika, which is based on asana. That is not the guiding literature of yoga. But people have made it the guiding literature of yoga because it serves their interests. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
One more thing. Today's Sutra 2.15, that the wise man, he or she moves away even from pleasant experiences because they are tinged with sorrow, right? That was today's Sutra. So basically, my understanding from what you explained is that so long as I am attracted to pleasant experiences, I am attached to pleasant experiences, I will, I'm not on the right path, because these experiences have a limited life and they are always surrounded by unpleasant sorrow.
No, actually, it goes deeper than that. You see, the common perception which people have is based on the common commentaries available on Patanjali Yoga Sutras. Okay, but if we go deeper, why is this being said? What is the reason behind it? Okay, you will find entire yoga is about concentration and detachment. Okay. Now, if you are finding something pleasant, you're automatically getting attached to it. Anything which is giving you pleasure, you're automatically getting attached to it. And attachment is a klesha. You see, out of the 5 kleshas, the first klesha is avidya, ignorance. Ignorance that I am the soul, I am the Atma. That causes all the problem. And because of this, you develop an ego. That is the second one. Third is attachment. Fourth is aversion. And fifth is clinging to life. Now, if you look at them, these four which have come from avidya, all of them are attachment. Ego is attachment to who I am. I, me, mera, that is ego. Attachment is attachment. Aversion is negative attachment. Clinging to life is attachment to life. So if you are able to remove the concept of attachment from your life, the principle of attachment from your life, if you are not attached to anything, if you are merely flowing with life and not getting attached to any place, any time like a chewing gum, whatsoever be the amount of attachment, then you move out into liberation straight. Okay?
Oh, okay. Got it. Yeah, now I understand. So this 2.15 is basically warning. It says that a wise man, a wise person understands his attachment and moves away from attachment. So basically,
Yes,
it's on attachment.
precisely. He's not getting trapped with the pleasantness of it.
That's virtually impossible to do. You are attached to your children, you're attached to your wife, you're attached to the comforts. Okay, comforts you may still reduce, but if you get totally detached, then you actually virtually attained nirvana, or as we say in Jains. So, I don't know how can we even do this.
Okay, now
for example,
Yeah.
Mr. Sampath would be attached to his work and delivering whatever he has to do. There is an attachment to almost everything that you do. Attachment to food because you want to eat food to live.
Okay, that's a good question. There are two kinds of attachments: selfish attachment and selfless attachment. Right. So if you are, it's like selfish action and selfless action, selfish karma and selfless karma. So if you are not acting only for yourself, but if you are acting on a bigger plane, as I said, individual intellect and cosmic intellect. If you are acting for humanity, if you're acting for your country, if you're acting for your community, beyond your personal gain, then that is a detachment of a bigger order. So it actually starts growing up. It cannot happen overnight. For some people, it happens overnight because of a shock, because of some huge transformation which happens. Say like Valmiki, he was a dacoit and he started writing Ramayana. So he went through that experience, but that does not happen to everybody. So yoga is a process which is a step-by-step process. It's a standard operating procedure. They explain what is samadhi, they explain what is sadhana, they explain the various stages of sadhana. They say start with Kriya Yoga. Kriya Yoga is now I'll tell you something very interesting. Okay, Kriya Yoga is tapasya. Siddhis are obtained with samadhi, and siddhis are obtained with tapasya also, without samadhi. Number one, siddhis are not obtained with jnana marg. No jnani will ever get siddhis. Siddhi can come by torturing the body, disciplining the body, or siddhi can come by torturing, disciplining the mind. It will not come by feeding the intellect. That is number one. Number two is swa-adhyay. Swa-adhyay is knowing about yourself, who you are, where are you coming from, what is the purpose of your life, what do you want to do on this planet, where do you want to go, what kind of a person you are. If you are a earth-based person, then you would like to know who you are. You would like to go to the core of who you are. If you are a water-based person, you would like to flow from the source of your family to the ocean and reach out to the bigger goal. If you are the fire, you would like to enjoy. You would like to reach out wherever you are. Take more and more experiences. Test your limits. Okay? So this is true for people like athletes who are into adventure. They're into that zone. If you are an air-based personality, then you can just go ahead. You are not attached to anything. You are constantly flowing. Obstacles don't matter to you. And you are like a bigger teacher, you are like a big guru, somebody who can show path to humanity. And if you are a space-based person, then your entire thought process is infinite. You're something like a Maharishi, something like even Mahavir for that matter, So those people have huge capabilities of shaping a new creation, of giving direction to people. They are visionaries. They can see what others are unable to see. So now everything is possible, but one needs to have the knowledge. Just because you do not know, that does not mean it is not there.
And also, Sanjay, just correct me if I'm wrong. My understanding so far has been, see, for example, like in spiritual path, attachment. It is not a 0 or 1. It's not like binary. Either you are attached or not attached. It doesn't happen that one day you become non-attached. It happens gradually. What you detach yourself from, you detach initially, whatever it is easier to detach. Then progressively, the circle becomes narrower and narrower, right? So through practice, through tapasya, through sadhana, then the detachment comes, not as like you are completely detached, one day you become completely not detached. It doesn't happen like that, right? I mean, it happens gradually.
Okay,
So, isn't it?
It actually depends on the sanskaras, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you are creating new sanskaras and moving in that path, then yes, slow and steady you reach there. But if there are some past sanskaras which are hidden and they suddenly pop up, right? So you might find one fine day you are a sadhu of the highest order, some beautiful girl comes in front of you and you get tempted. Okay, and then you want to marry her, right? So that kind of thing can happen. But that is a past sanskara which was lying dormant, has suddenly become active because of a trigger or a stimulus, and now it has changed your direction in life. So these things can also happen. But the question is, where am I wanting to go? What is my intention? What do I want to achieve out of this life? Yes, definitely, I want to care for my family. I want to care for myself. I want to have the right amount of possessions for myself. I want to create my children's future, take care of my wife, our old age. Yes. Do something for the community. Yes. But why not beyond that? Why not for 1,000 people? Why not for 1 lakh people? Why not for entire country? Why not for entire humanity? Why not plan for 700, 800 crore people? Say we are working on a vision of reaching out to the world population of 1,000 crores. Yeah, we calculated what is the rate at which this population is growing, what is the average family size. It is different from continent to continent. And we reached the average figure. And then we said, fine, if we reach 200 crore families, and if one person also gets our message of yoga right, then we have reached somewhere. So our entire campaign is working on that basis, right? We have a communication campaign. We are spending about 1.5 lakhs just on the communication, just on designing the communication, so that the communication reach out is possible, but they must get interested. Yeah, and once they become interested, then they must engage with us. And then they must give us referrals also, so that the other person comes, the third person comes. So once you start thinking big, then all these things keep on falling in place. People come, resources come, golds come, everything happens. Unbelievable things happen. You have not experienced it, that is why you think that way.
Just going back for a moment to what Anilji said. See, I think in the spiritual path, one cannot say it is each person can only think for himself or herself. Am I able to do it? How am I able to do it? I have to be honest with myself. But the moment I say that it is not possible, then I'm giving up in defeat on day one, which is not going to help me, right? So it is very much possible. So the level of attachment, I know that, for example, am I fully detached? No, not at all. But I know what are my limitations, and I know that attachment will go slowly, but I have to work on it. and I had to keep working on it. And the more sadhana I do, the more more pranayama meditation I do, I know that my mental agitation goes down.
Sanjay ji, one question for you.
Yeah.
You told that the first evolution from Prakriti is intelligence, and intelligence, buddhi, and then buddhi has two dimensions: the total, cosmic, and the individual. But when buddhi has evolved, that time the individual, as one knows, the concept of individual, that has not evolved. So when you tell individual buddhi, then what are you referring to? I mean, one can understand rather vaguely that there is a cosmic intelligence. Okay, fine. For example, I cannot see what is cosmic intelligence, but I can understand perhaps that there is something undefined by today's science called cosmic intelligence. But then comes the individual intelligence, but the individual, as one knows, is not existing at that time. So what is individual intelligence?
Okay, that's a good question. You see, if you go through the Sankhya tattvas, 25 tattvas, you will find that out of Prakriti, what comes out, two terms have been used, Mahat and Buddhi. You'll always find both of them. Mahat is considered to be the great principle. And Buddhi, as we know, is the power of discrimination, intelligence. Okay. So some commentators say that Mahat in individual format is considered as Buddhi. And Mahat is the universal form of Buddhi. Okay. So in this particular case, I went as per that understanding in order to explain that when you have intelligence, right, and you're able to see sorrow, that means it is not coming from cosmic intelligence. It is a lower level intelligence. A higher level intelligence will be able to use a higher level of knowledge, a higher level of processing capabilities, a higher level of analysis, a higher level of discernment and discrimination, and figure out what it is all about, right? Because the next only stage then is Prakriti. There is no other intervening step. So keeping that in mind, I refer to this as individual intelligence, intellect, and cosmic intelligence, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So you explained in that context actually.
Yeah.
But in terms of evolution, how does it happen? Then cosmic intelligence, that gives rise to ahamkara, right? But the individual has not evolved.
Okay. Now this is something where there is ambiguity. Okay. The tattvas, as explained, has this ambiguity at this point, precisely which you have pointed out, between the Buddhi and the Mahat. Two terms have been used. There are 25 such tattvas. Nowhere two terms have been used. It is only here that two terms have been used and two meanings have been given. Okay? So probably it means case to case, depending how it is to be applied, the commentator will apply, or the person who is applying Sankhya in his life will apply. I personally have found that applying the cosmic part of it is much better, because then whatever action you are taking in life, whatever inputs you are taking from life, it's all give and take. You're giving to life and you're taking from life. So you keep on evaluating, am I doing it at a universal cosmic level, or am I doing it at a narrower individual level? So if I'm doing it at a bigger cosmic universal level, you will find your thought process is bigger, your actions bigger, the quantity of people getting influenced by that bigger, everything becomes big. Effort remains the same, but the scale just becomes big. So I would prefer to look at it from cosmic intelligence, and that is what I am doing in my life.
Okay. And I have another question for the previous querist. I didn't get his name. Which is, he told that he is practicing pranayama. I wanted to know whether he has gone that step by step. First of all, mastered niyama and उससे पहले
Yeah, let me ask him. Sridhar,
yama.
yeah. Sridhar, are you here?
Yama, niyama, all those things.
Let him come back. We'll ask him. He's not there.
Okay.
But you see, it is not a question of what he's practicing. It's a question of what has been prescribed.
Yeah, that's
right. So what has been prescribed has to be followed.
Which means that one has to master each step in its sequence.
Yes. I will explain to you the sequence. You will understand why it is that way. Okay.
Okay.
The first is ahimsa. First one. You have to begin with ahimsa. So what happens is when you start with ahimsa, you find that enmity around you disappears. The space around you becomes neat and clean. Okay?
Right.
So first of all, I need to work on the space inside me and outside me. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it has to begin with ahimsa first. Second is satya. Satya is truth.
Truth, yeah.
Okay, now when you are practicing truth perfectly, again a very interesting thing happens. You get Vaka Siddhi. When you get Vaka Siddhi, now whatever you are saying is turning into reality. Okay? So once you, by becoming non-violent in your thoughts, you have a conducive environment outside. And now whatever you are saying to the environment outside is turning into reality because it is a supporting environment. Okay.
Right.
So then now the action begins, right? First you clean it up and then you start with words.
Right.
Third, you come to non-stealing. Okay, when you are practicing non-stealing 100%, another interesting thing happens. In that space, all valuables, jewels start coming on their own, right? So now, initially you were saying and things were happening. Now you are not saying anything, but Prakriti is sending to you, right? Acha. Come to the fourth stage. Fourth is Brahmacharya. Brahmacharya is where you are not unnecessarily spending your energy. There's energy control. Okay. So when you are practicing energy control, you will find that divine energy starts flowing to you. So what is happening is the outer work is done. The outer environment got cleaned. What you say starts happening. Outer things, Prakriti starts bringing to you for you. And the inner one is you get connected to the divine energy and divine energy starts flowing through you. Okay?
Right.
And flowing through you where? It has to go outside. Right? So it has cleaned the outer environment. It has given you the power of words. So whatever now you say will happen. It has brought in all the resources to you on its own. That now whatever this divine energy is wanting you to do will happen because you have been equipped now completely.
Right.
Are you getting me?
Yeah, very much.
And then
in fact,
just let me complete. Then the fifth one, which is Vairagya, which is Aparigraha. When you are in Aparigraha, you have the minimum of possessions. And when you are practicing Aparigraha perfectly, you enter the highest state of Samadhi directly in a shortcut. It is a hack. You enter Dharma Megh Samadhi. And when you enter Dharma Megh Samadhi, immediately after that, your Kevalya happens. What is Dharma Megh? Dharma is virtue. So a cloud of virtues is poured over you. You are prepared for that special entry into Kevalya. And now, so now your work in the outer world is over. You have been blessed from inside completely, and now they're pulling you out from the system. Are you getting me?
Yeah, very much.
Yeah, so now you're out of the system, you're gone. So they say, this niyama, this yama, has to be practiced 100% like a vow wherever you are, whatever time, irrespective of class. It is not said that for niyama. Because
Right.
this is a shortcut to mukti,
Right.
which any common man can do, any laborer can do.
Yes. 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 Very much
might-
moralistic based.
Yes, you might have no hands, no legs, no nose, no ears,